Good morning. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Mitch. Good to see everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you. I think I'm getting messages already from StreamYard that it's having trouble streaming to Rumble. What's wrong with Rumble this morning? Oh no. Let's see if it's there. Yes, it's working. StreamYard, stop giving me these error messages. Good to see everybody. Good to see you this morning. Welcome to Morning Coffee. Morning Coffee with moi, Mitch. In case you didn't know, drink it. Drink it if you got it, my friends. And it's steaming hot. Wow, I don't know if you can see. I don't think it shows up on camera. Oh, God, that's good. Man, pre-chat's been busy today. Pre-chat has been busy. And Ellen is in the chat, but she's not going to be with us live this morning. But I'm hoping that, good morning, Ellen. And anyway, I'm hoping that she can keep track of these questions. So if we don't get to any of them today, I'll be able to answer them tomorrow, and I'll have to do what I did yesterday, and that is just try to get through them and not miss anything. Not miss anything. If you have a question for me about anything, especially if you're having a difficulty sticking to it, that's the big thing. That's the big thing here. Everybody knows how to do it. It's how to get past the pitfall. So if you have a question, Q, 3 capital Q's in the chat. And I did make some show notes today. And let me see. Wow, these are heavy duty things that I wrote down. I put that video out yesterday with the interview with Mark Hyman and Tucker Carlson, and the comments, I got a lot of interesting comments. Most of you believe or agreed with me. Excuse me, I'm trying to read the chat and talk at the same time. Most of you agree with me that we want to be optimistic. We want to be optimistic, but I think that we may be setting ourselves up for a disappointment because we expect, like we usually do, we expect, okay, wow, listen, so-and-so said that on the news, so now everybody knows that, and by tomorrow, the entire world will change. And that never happens. We're constantly disappointed. We get our hopes up. Oh, this is going to get fixed. We know what the problems are. And then 20 years later, not a thing has changed. And I'm really afraid that may happen here. There may be some small changes. They may remove some ingredients from some processed foods, stuff we don't eat anyway. But my main point yesterday was I was sadly disappointed that I still hear no talk on any grand scale about solving the one main problem, the only thing that has to happen that has to happen, or it can't work, even if everybody wants it to work. And what I mean by that is our entire economy and food supply to feed 8 billion people in this world is set up to provide poisonous foods to the masses. There's a tiny number of us carnivores out there, and even we have trouble finding meat. What's going to happen? What's going to happen should everybody decide tomorrow that carnivore is the way? It would be a disaster. So I sometimes say to myself, keep your mouth shut, Mitch. What are you doing? Why are you trying to change the world when you'll find yourself starving to death, unable to either find any meat or buy it at any price? And that's a serious concern. Not likely to happen, however, because everybody's an addict. And even if they know that they should be eating meat, they're still going to be eating sugar. They're still going to be addicted to it. So that'll slow it down a little bit. But the point I'm trying to make, and I won't belabor this, is that in order for any meaningful change to take place, the first thing that has to happen, and I don't see it happening anywhere other than on tiny, small scale basis, is we need to be making massive efforts to dramatically increase the meat supply, not only in this country, but in the world. There should be 1 billion cows roaming the fields because we have to feed 300+ million people. And it's going to take 1 billion cows a year to provide enough meat to feed all of those people. How's that going to happen? Nobody's even talking about it. Just to build the infrastructure for something like that would take years and years and years and years. So the current system, as bad as it is, has to keep going, or everybody's going to starve to death. I doubt that I will actually see, unless I live to be 110 years, 120 years old, to see our whole system change back to what it was 100 years ago. But I am a little bit optimistic that some changes are going to be made, and not really afraid that we're all going to starve to death, because I don't expect anything to happen that fast. And I just thought that might give everybody a little perspective on some of the things that I think about as I head to Sam's Club tomorrow morning to be the first through the door, to see if there isn't any halfway decent marked down meat, so I don't starve to death. Well, it's great to see you, and you're all chatting away, and that took 10 minutes. Let's see if I got anything else here. No, the rest of it's just complaining about, I watched the news this morning, and it's all about the kid that killed the United Healthcare. And this was a smart kid, 26 years old, master's degree, technically savvy, valedictorian. I mean, we're not talking about some street hood here. We're talking about a privileged kid, came up, educated, smart, with evidently a monstrous gripe against the healthcare system. I have, and most of us have, larger gripes against the healthcare system because of the experiences we've had suffering at the abuse and being ignored by the healthcare system. I think it's not aptly named anymore. They do nothing to make you healthy except acute care to fix broken things from accidents and things like that. But I think it's a sick care system, but they can't call it that. And we're all dissatisfied with the healthcare system, and especially some of these thieves that are making tens of millions of dollars salary administering the insurance companies. And I can understand. I fought the urge to strangle a few of them myself, but I would never go to that extreme, my God. So what was it? It'd be interesting to get into this kid's mind and see, how did he think? How did he think that killing the CEO of United Healthcare was going to help anything? How did he think he was going to change anything other than make all the other CEOs now have to hire more bodyguards? I don't know. None of it makes any real sense to me other than the fact. And every time I see these carjackings and every time I see these crimes committed by these younger and younger people, my thoughts always turn to mental illness caused by bad nutrition. Now, we still had our lunatics 100 years ago, but this is getting crazy, and I'm blaming it all on the bad diet and all the things that are providing these things. And I'm sitting there talking to 114 people who probably already know that. Time for a little sip of coffee here. Okay, that's enough talking and pontificating this morning. I know I'm preaching to the choir with you guys, but if nothing else, I say these things so, and I know that many of you have had all the same thoughts. And at least you know you're not alone. At least you know you're not crazy for thinking this way. You maybe have a little grasp of reality that most don't seem to have these days. Anyway, so here we are. We at 7:43 p.m. last night, Turamir said hello. He checked in, and who do we have here? Sandy Blythe checked in. This is last night at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Peter, of course. Hello, Meat Moguls. And boy, just as I start reading this, the sun comes right in my eyes. Let me turn my computer, excuse the noise, brightness up a little bit. And which one of these is the brightness? I got a brand new notebook in front of me, guys. I have no idea. There it is. That's a whole nother story. The technical challenges continue. The technical challenges continue. Yesterday morning, my notebook that I used for this, that I had just set up, the notebook I used for editing all my 360 videos, the very expensive Dell that I had bought only last April, which has already broken once and had to be sent back to Dell because nothing you could do to make it power on. They sent it back to me about 3 months ago, and yesterday morning I set up this whole live stream and I opened the lid of that notebook and nothing. So I went back in and got my old one, and I did yesterday's stream on the old one, and yesterday I ran to Best Buy and spent another ridiculous amount of money on another very powerful, this time an Asus notebook with a high-end graphics processor so I could do my editing and video stuff on it. And I've been working half the day yesterday getting it set up, and this morning I was very tense, wondering if everything was going to work right. But I still have to figure out and remember where all the different function keys are on this thing, because it is different. But so far, so good. So far, so good. So anyway, Peter, you've been famous long enough. Mike Seeley was in. Good to see you. And Stickman's Garage, only 11 hours and 30 minutes. So we're going to start racing through these things, looking for questions. Feral Grandma was early. Lucy Auerbach, how you doing? Lady June was early. Couch Potato, Don Schonger. This is me racing. Wayne Herman, Good to see you this morning. And who is this? This is Steve Studley. Please pass the butter and the salt. Yes. Mike Seeley Sr., Mark Boos. Mark Boos is in here at 6:44, so at least we slept. Some of us slept. And Cliff Medina's, hey, Mitch here from drones flying over Jersey. Good morning, Cliff. How you doing, my friend? Greg Smith is here. Where are you today? Louisville, Kentucky. You're almost there, delivering that load of shoes for Amazon. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Life After Carbs. Chris is here from Wisconsin. Hiya, Chris. How you doing? Good to see you. Sandy Blythe says good morning, all. Marla Kelly is here. Hiya, Marla. Hiya, Marla. And Rick from Miami. My cat is attacking my door. Smoothie's here. How you doing? It is Tuesday. Richard Williams, all the usual suspects. How you doing, Richard? Good to see you. And Moolicious is here. Good to see you. Good to see you. And Stephanie Duvo. Good to see you. Good to see you. Patty Bolden says, chilly Colorado morning. It was actually warmer this morning. I'm not wearing a heavy jacket. I'm just wearing a long sleeve thing here. But because it was about 60 degrees when I came out here this morning, you still do get a chill. So I'm wearing the knit cap. I don't want this knit cap to become a trademark of mine, like Tim Pool. For those of you who know who Tim Pool is, I don't think anybody's ever seen him without that cat on. It's like nobody's ever seen me without a beard. Not a living soul on the planet Earth at this day has ever seen me without a beard. Think about that. Not a soul who's alive on the entire planet has ever seen me without a beard. I have had this beard since 1970 and never shaved it. Never shaved it. And everybody that was alive and had seen me before then is long since gone. Not a friend, not a relative, not my children, not even any of my ex-wives have ever seen me without a beard. It is my identity. I'm afraid to shave it off. I think it might make me look a little younger, but who knows? Who knows? And, okay, we ready for this? Can I have a drum roll, please? Tanya, Kitchen Witch 1885 is here. And Tanya asked me yesterday, do I remember her name? And Tanya, just so you know how important, you're a great supporter here, and just so you know how important it was for me to remember your name, I actually made a note to myself, but I hadn't forgotten. It is so now cemented in my memory that I promise you I will never forget that again. So good morning, Tanya. Good morning. Good morning. And somebody here named Slanty Head. Interesting name from Chicago. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Dixie Scott is here. And are we up to 8:30 yet? 8:23. Getting there. Once I get to 8:30, I'm going to start racing through it to see if I can get to any questions. Still got plenty of time. And Captain America is here. Good morning, Steve from Kansas City, Missouri. Good to see you. And Ellen chimed in and said, hey, happy Thursday, everybody. I don't know if you can hear that little yippy dog barking across the street, but I'm bound and determined not to let this stuff distract me. 15 minutes ago, I had 2 riding lawnmowers, guys with trimmers, edgers, blowers, completely surrounding me, but they're all gone now. And the barking dog at the same time, barking at all the lawn guys. But I still love doing it outside here, and the reason I love doing it outside here is, you guessed it, no mystery. I gotta stop banging this microphone on. Anyway, excuse me while I fire this thing up. And as the music ends, and I try not to set myself on fire. There we go. A little sip of coffee. Perfect. Perfect. Now, where was I? Laurie's Carnivore Story. How you doing, Laurie? Good to see you. Maciel Ordonez. Good morning from Donley, SDA. Donley. I don't know. Well, Donley, SDA. Is that a place or is that a person? Carnivore eat vegan. Carnivore eat vegan meat. Yes, yes, absolutely. We want to eat meat from vegans. I've often joked that if for some reason our supply of beef got interrupted, the vegans better watch out because we might be eyeing them. It's a gruesome thought, but hey, BMAT, good morning to you. How you doing? And Tanya says, hello, Professor Mitch. Watched the Tucker interview, did my homework. Good for you. You get an A+. Tom from Tampa's here. How you doing? Tom, good to see you. And Robbie Autry joined us. And your mom. Good morning, everyone. Your mom. Good to see you back. Good to see you back this morning. And you got here right on time. 8:30. Okay, I'm up to 8:30 in the chat. And let me see who I didn't say hi to that was early. I think I got everybody. Who is this? Ketra. How you doing, Ketra? Good to see you. And speaking of Ketra, let me check over in the... because she's usually over there, but not this morning. Over in the Rumble chat, we have Ellen chimed in. We have Laurie's Carnivore Story, Rod Weeder over there. Good morning to you. Mark Booz is over in Rumble, too. And Sprack 56 is there. No Slow, I think, was the first one in. And Sprack 56, Mitch, is Wednesday always meat markdown day at Sam's? No, it isn't. Wednesday is the morning. They have meat markdown day every day. You're not going to find any on Sunday because, or Saturday morning generally because they usually sell a lot of meat Friday. But the best days for meat markdown days are usually Tuesday through Thursday or Friday morning. The reason that I go on Wednesdays is that's the day that I put off starting this little show until 10 o'clock in the morning, so I have time to go to Sam's beforehand. Otherwise, I can't do it if I'm going to be here to do this at 8:30. So that's the reason for Wednesday. That's the reason for Wednesday. Aaron is here. Booby Goats, good morning to you. Good morning to you. And Stickman's Garage. Is this the correct location for the meeting? You guessed it. It is. It is the right place. Claudia, whose last name cannot be pronounced. And if you would, Claudia, one of these times, put in parentheses the phonetic way that you say that last name. Oh, speaking of coffee, somebody has bought me a coffee. Maybe Ellen put the link in the chat. Let me see who it was. Grandma Prepper bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. And Grandma Prepper says to me, been busy working in the new pasture, but rainy and wet today. Happy to have coffee with you from South Carolina. Thank you so much. Very, very nice of you. And I think Ellen may have put the link in there. At any rate, I can be very crassly commercial here and make that thing just scroll on the bottom of the screen in a not too subtle attempt to tell you that if you enjoy this and you like what I'm doing, throw me a coffee once in a while. I really appreciate it. Okay, enough enough of that, and back to the chat. Where was I? I'm looking for questions now. I see a lot of the same people. Question, here we go. Robbie, Autry, how do you feel about eating sardines every single day, Mitch? I think that would make me become very, very tired of sardines. And I know what you're referring to, because there's so many influencers out there that keep having these 30-day sardine fasts. And, you know, yeah, you can live on it, but who the hell wants to do that? Not when there's bacon and ribeyes out there, for God's sakes. You know how I feel. You know how I feel about 30-day challenges, special different ways of eating other than settling into a routine of just eating what you like and eating it every day as long as it's the appropriate food. Why? What is it that all of these people, I don't understand it. Somebody tell me, what are they trying to accomplish? Are they trying to cure a particular illness? And they think that sardines every day are going to do that? I eat sardines and anchovies maybe once every couple weeks. Maybe I'll throw them in an omelet. And maybe I don't. I don't go out of my way to complicate anything with any kind of special routine other than the normal stuff that I do. Get out and get a little sun. Walk around for a little while barefoot when it's not freezing outside. Take the supplements that I know I need, the vitamin D, the electrolytes, and a little iodine, and just eat what I want and don't make it complicated. Don't make it complicated. So that's how do I feel about eating sardines every single day? My one-word answer would be, why? And I'd like to hear the whys. I've seen the videos. I think these challenges serve much better, and I don't want to insult all the people that do them, but they serve much better to get views on YouTube than I think they actually really do any good for anybody. So I hope I answered that question for you. Thank you. And it's a good question, because these kind of things keep coming up. They keep coming up. Just eating a good meat-heavy, zero-carb diet, if you're a wild addict. If you're not a wild addict, you probably do okay on keto, as long as you're very careful about what plants you eat and how you prepare them, which is one of the most important things, to get rid of as many of the poisons as you can. But as long as you just eat stuff you enjoy eating, so that each meal does satisfy you in the flavor and the enjoyment of actually eating it, I would find sardines very, very boring. Very boring. Bob M says, Mitch, what is your best home remedy for the winter flu with headaches, cough, and cold? I don't have a home remedy. I haven't had the winter flu with headaches, cough, and cold in recent memory. So I have no remedy. Sorry, no remedy for that. There's a million grandma remedies, you know. You get a lot of vitamin C, drink a lot of orange juice, eat chicken soup, get a lot of rest, stay hydrated, blow your nose. But generally people turn to over-the-counter drugs for that. You know, they'll use decongestants, nasal spray, some kind of a pain reliever for the headache. It's a virus. It's a virus. You can't cure a virus. One of the problems that we have in our current medical community is they prescribe antibiotics for viruses. It's crazy. They're not bacterial infections. An antibiotic does not kill a virus. But when you keep taking all these antibiotics for things you don't need antibiotics for, all you're doing is building up a tolerance for them in your body. So then if you ever became septic one day and you really needed an antibiotic to save your life, it probably wouldn't work anymore. And yet they keep prescribing this stuff, Z-Packs or whatever the hell they call them. I've never taken them in my life. Anybody wants to give me an antibiotic, I say no thank you. Screws up your digestion, kills. It's very non-selective in the bacteria it kills, so it kills more beneficial bacteria than the bad ones. There are certain infections where you need it, but the best thing you can do for a cold is whatever makes you the most comfortable, I suppose, and just wait it out. Wait it out. Or get yourself really healthy. Get your immune system cooking. That'll happen to you with this lifestyle. At least it should. And that'll keep you from getting so many of these winter flus. I don't even have a hard time with flu shots, to tell you the truth. Normal vaccinations don't bother me. I've been getting them all my life. It's this new crap that they keep coming up with, especially the mRNA ones. But the basic philosophy of a flu shot is inject some dead viruses, let your immune system say hello to them so it recognizes them, and then when you get a live one come along, it knows what it is and it goes to work. That's just a little introduction to your immune system for what they expect to be around in this particular year. So, I mean, I haven't had a flu shot in a few years. I used to get them every year. I never had any adverse effects from them. That's not the best I can do on that. If I had the answer to that, my friend, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I'd be floating on a 200-foot yacht off of my own island somewhere. Because if you could cure the common cold or flu, you'd be the richest man on the planet. What else we got? Let's see how far behind I am. 8:34, only a half an hour behind in the chat. Okay, Mitch, you better pick it up. Edward Renner's here. Good morning, Edward. And I'm looking for some new people, too. If I miss anybody, very, very sorry. Very, very sorry. 127 people in here. Good to see you all. Good to see you. CB Carmack's here. How you doing, CB? Just dropping in. Always good to see you. Everybody's saying hi to you. And Ellen's still in the chat. Hope I'm not missing any questions, Ellen. But I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. Ellen's dog sitting. Kirsten Odell, how you doing? How you doing? Good morning, Mitch. Good to see you. Good to see you, too. And looking for the QQQs. Trying to read this stuff as it goes by. Oh, Cliff Medina says, and somebody bought me a coffee. Let's see. Let's say hello. Ketra bought me a coffee this morning. Thank you, Ketra. What did you say? What did you say? Wanted to do this yesterday, but couldn't find the link on the Rumble chat. Enjoy. Drink it. Thank you. Thank you, Ketra. Don't mind if I do. That's great. And Cliff Medina says, Mitch, the microbiome is responsible for all of our health. It's very complicated, thousands of different combinations. Cliff, I couldn't disagree with you more. Honestly, yes, there may be some truth in that. But it's not up to us to regulate. Yes, it is important. And they're there for a reason. And in that respect, you're right. It is very complicated, thousands of different combinations, none of which we need to even give a second thought to if we eat right and feed it what it needs to eat, which is pretty much meat. So, yes, I don't know why you said that. Oh, I thought it was a question, but it wasn't a question. Okay, good. Wasn't a question, it was a statement. And in certain respects, you're right. But you all know how I feel about worrying about that or micromanaging virtually anything. I'm looking for questions. Ellen says, I will keep track of the questions, although Mitch does a good job of getting them. Yeah, but I'm running behind. Peter is talking about Kip. Kip has lost 100 pounds on carnivore, but he is struggling. I know his pain so well. He wants to get healthy for his baby daughter and wife. I tried to be the very best to help him. I hope it helps. I hope it does too, Peter, but enough said. Enough said. Question. Grey Wolf's here. How you doing, Grey Wolf? Good to see you. Polish Mike, hey, says, hey, boss. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you. Good to see you. Peter's busy chatting up about carnivore Kip. Jeff Streslak, good morning from Goose Creek, 61. Yeah, it's a little warmer today. Mama Bear, how you doing, Mama Bear? Good to see you. I like this one. Mick trusts no one. Yeah. That's not a very enlightening message, but welcome. I haven't seen you before in here. Good to see you. Sometimes I know exactly what you mean by that comment. Tormir chimed back in and says, hello, people. Hopefully Tuka got some sleep. That was nice. Jeff Johnson. Hiya, Jeff. How you doing? Good morning. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my bacon and eggs today, too. I've been thinking about that. That's what I think about now. I don't think about donuts and cake. I think about bacon and eggs. And Tanya says, carnivore cruise. Well, it's getting ridiculous to try to put something like that together. You need it's a full-time job to do something like that, to deal with the cruise lines, all the people who want to come, collecting money, the disappointments when things get canceled. It's not for me. I don't even want to go on a carnivore cruise, to tell you the truth. It's got to be incredibly expensive these days. Cruising has just become crazy. The last cruise I was on, I couldn't get off the boat fast enough. Too many people. Too many big, fat, unhealthy people. No wonder cruise ships are breeding grounds for novovirus and all these other things. They go on that boat for one reason, to eat. As a friend of mine used to say, they eat like they have two rectums. It's crazy. And push in front of you and screaming kids, making noise. It's not a thing for me anymore. I've done a lot of cruising, but I just got burnt out on it. So if somebody wants to arrange a reasonably priced, calm and peaceful carnivore cruise, that'd be great. Unfortunately, it'd be like having an alcoholic having their birthday party in a bar. Too much temptation on a cruise. Too much temptation. It's in your face. Unless we had a private dining room, like a Brazilian steakhouse, where they only served us meat and we never got to have to see all of that other crap that these people are stuffing their face with. How many people would fall off the wagon on a carnivore cruise? It takes a dedication. It does. It takes a dedication. Oh, Greg Smith. No. N-O. Have I made myself clear, Greg? No. Hell no. Greg just suggested that I switch from Windows to Apple. No. I know a lot of people have problems with apples, too. But thanks for the thought, Greg. Michael Hook, Mike. Well, I'm looking for some questions here. Come on, somebody give me some questions. Sheena, Cav, all these people are coming in, but somebody give me a question. Something to talk about. I got 20 minutes left. I got time to do it today. I'm still about 20 minutes behind in the chat. Maybe I'll come across one. But I'm going to have to go a little fast. I'm going to have to go a little faster here. Tammy Pitarch, how you doing? Pamela Suarez is here too. Good morning to you. They just keep coming. Here's another new one. Belmont Leon, good morning. Good morning to you. Haven't said good morning to you yet this morning. And BMAT says the vegans are grass-fed meat. Yes, they are. And Moto J is here. How you doing? How you doing? Ellen's chatting away. Chatting away. Who else is new? No questions. Nobody wants to know anything this morning. Here we go. Okay, here it is. Here it is, folks. It's Burkick. 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 You've said it correctly before. Perfect. Perfect, Claudia. Burkick. That's a very unusual name. Burkick. Burkick. Wow. Well, that's how it looks, I guess. But I didn't know if that K may have had to be pronounced like Burchik, because I think in some Slovakian languages, the K's come out like a CH. So I didn't want to risk it. Burkick. Okay, I will remember it now, and thank you for that. Thank you for that. Oh, here, Booby. Aaron says, I was going to do the 30-day sardine fast, and I kept getting ribeyes for really great deals. Yeah, you don't need to eat fish solid for 30 days. I mean, yeah, it's healthy for you and all. You know, once a week, I have fish once a week. I was going to have the cod fillets last night, but I didn't. I ate a bunch of smoked salmon instead last night, but I do eat fish at least once a week. And I eat chicken at least once a week. And the rest of the time, it's bacon, eggs, and beef. Or pork. Because I like ribs. And I've made some ground pork burgers. Between you and me, all of which sound so much more delicious than sardines. I mean, they're okay. If you're a whale, that's what they eat. And we have looking for questions. Come on. Wow, yesterday they were just coming up one after another. Today we have a QQQ drought going on here. Anyway, I didn't ask anybody. How was on this new computer? Everything coming out good? The picture, the sound, everything, the music? Hey, here we go. Question, what are your thoughts on using Stevia sweetener? Well, that's a great question, Cliff. That's a great question. My thoughts were, it took me a long time to get used to life without sweet-tasting things. I worked very diligently to wean myself off of virtually anything, even toothpaste that had a sweet taste, because a sweet taste is nature's greatest trigger, especially for a sugar or carb addiction. People are addicted to candy. They're addicted to sweet-tasting things. Humans never had sweet things. It wasn't until medieval times when they discovered sugar and started making treats and desserts for the ultra-rich and elite, but the peasants never got to taste anything sweet. There was nothing sweet to be had. Maybe a piece of fruit in season, but even that was not part of the average person's diet. So much of the fruit they had back in those days was sour anyway. But we constantly need things that are sweet. One of the most profitable research and development areas have been in artificial sweeteners. I remember my first marriage back in the 1970s. There was a company doing research, and the name of it was L Sugar. And the whole purpose behind that, this is 55 years ago, the whole purpose behind this so-called L sugar was a sugar molecule that was a mirror image of a glucose molecule. And as a mirror image, it did not react in the body because it had its different atoms in different positions. So basically, they were researching this, supposed to look like sugar, taste like sugar, except the body couldn't metabolize it like sugar. It was supposed to be the next big thing. So my wife and I at the time, we bought stock in this. We thought we were going to become billionaires from this. What a great idea. Never went anywhere. Evidently, it did some harm and it didn't work and made people sick. Don't fool with Mother Nature. But we've been trying to figure out how to feed people's sweet tooth. That's why they call it a sweet tooth. For years. So along came the artificial sweeteners. Some of them are pretty horrible chemicals. Some of them are what they call natural. But the word natural doesn't mean that it's good just because it's natural. Every poison on the planet is natural. It's natural. Hemlock is natural. What do I think about stevia? I think try not to use any of it. Now, we'll get down to the point where, well, if you gotta use some kind of sweetener, I suppose that stevia would be among the more preferable ones. If you get it in the right form, because I used it for a while. Before I became carnivore, I was drinking a lot of lemon juice, making lemonade every day in an attempt that didn't work to dissolve this raft of kidney stones that I had, which came from eating all of the healthy superfoods like spinach, almonds. And almonds, talk about all natural. Cyanide is all natural too. Comes from almonds. And I drank all this stuff, and I sweetened it with stevia. And I was buying these packages of stevia at Sam's Club. They was called Stevia in the Raw. Well, doesn't that sound healthy? Stevia in the raw, because everybody knows if it's raw, it's got to be healthier for you, right? Just ask any vegan. Come to find out, there was stevia there, but what did they use as a filler and a carrier for the stevia? They used maltodextrin. So here, I was putting sugar, carbohydrate, not a whole lot in each dose. I don't know if it really made it fattening or not, but still, I'm mixing maltodextrin, the same stuff that they use in LMNT electrolytes that created this huge controversy that we just went through. So I said, I threw the whole box away just because I was pissed when I discovered that. I never thought to look at the ingredients. The thing says stevia in the raw. To me, that says it's just stevia. And I bought a bottle, very expensive, these little bottles. And I found that it took like 10 drops of that stuff to even make my glass of lemonade somewhat sweet, but it was pure stevia leaf extract. And that's how I did. I did that for quite a while. I still have a half a case of lemon juice left over from when I stopped. I used to buy that stuff 12 bottles at a time. I used to get it from Amazon, lemon juice. And I'll probably never touch a drop of that again. But I just haven't thrown it away. It's found a nice dark place in the back bottom of one of my pantry closets, and I found no reason to dig it out of there yet. But when I became carnivore and started analyzing it more and more heavily from a carb addiction standpoint and understanding that sweet taste, which hit me even when I ate a blueberry and caused me to binge, I said, you know, I just need to get away from this sweet stuff. I got to stop drinking diet sodas. I don't care what they're sweetened with. I don't need sweet. I even went out and bought toothpaste that wasn't too sweet. Arm & Hammer baking soda stuff. And it's been a couple of years now that I have not even tasted anything that was sweet. I imagine if I got a taste of something sweet right now, it would overwhelm me and be sickening because I'm so not used to eating sweet things. So my overall answer to your simple question, Cliff, is I don't advocate the use of any sweetener for that reason. But if you feel you enjoy it and it's not hurting you and it's not causing you to binge and not throwing you off carnivore, as from a health standpoint, it's not going to hurt you. I'm talking about sweeteners purely from an addiction standpoint. So I hope that answers that question. I know that was a long answer, but it's a subject that I think more videos need to be made about the effects of what a sweet taste does to your body. Because I'll keep going here. A sweet taste is part of what triggers what they call the cephalic phase response. I don't know how many of you know what that means. I've talked about it many times. The cephalic phase response. You know how when you go on a vacation, you got to prepare, you got to get ready, you got to pack your suitcase, you got to arrange your transportation. A lot of things you have to do in advance so that when the instant comes when you're out the door, you're ready. Well, our physiology works exactly the same way. Exactly. You think that these biological systems that we have don't need to get ready, don't need to ramp up? They do. But they need a signal. They need a little early warning. Your pancreas needs to make sure there's insulin available to keep your blood sugar in check, get it into those cells and out of the bloodstream so you don't end up in a diabetic coma and die when you eat sugar. So it needs to know or have a way to anticipate that need so that it can prepare. Your digestive system has to start creating the stomach acid to digest the food. It has to know that there's going to be food coming, but yet it doesn't want to fill up your stomach full of acid if there's no food for it to deal with. All of our systems are like that. So we have so many sensors and triggers in our body that tell these things when they need to start getting ready for the main event. And the main event for insulin production is called the cephalic phase response. And there's so many things that can trigger it. So many things that can trigger it. You can walk by a bakery and smell that. And your mind, your subconscious thinks, oh man, we're going to be eating sugar soon. That's an early warning. Let's start making insulin and let's put some of it in the bloodstream to preempt this big spike of sugar that we know is coming. Sweet taste is a trigger for that response, because when you taste something sweet, there is no more surefire clue to your physiology that there is sugar coming, because sugar is what causes things to be sweet. So when you put something sweet in your mouth, you are initiating a response designed to inject insulin into your bloodstream, get ready for the sugar that's coming, and your physiology doesn't know how to distinguish between the fact that it was not real sugar that caused that sweet taste. Okay? This is why so many people tell you diet soda is just as fattening as real soda. It is, because it causes you to eventually eat the sugar, because you've had these responses. You need the sugar. And what happens, think about this. This is fact, and this is, I didn't make this stuff up. You eat something sweetened with stevia. Your brain says, sugar coming. Let's ramp up the cephalic phase response starts. Let's ramp up insulin production. Let's squirt a bunch of insulin in the blood so that when that sugar gets there, we're ready for it. So you're not eating any sugar. You're eating artificial sweeteners. But your body's busy dumping insulin in your bloodstream. Well, what does insulin do in your bloodstream? It forces the cells to take sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cell. And at the same time, it signals your fat cells that energy is coming, so they close off. They will not give up any fat. You go into fat storage mode, just as sure as if you were drinking a regular Coca-Cola as opposed to an artificially sweetened drink. But now you have a different problem. You didn't get the sugar. But what sugar you did have in your blood, your body starts cramming in the cells, which does not only convinces them that, yes, we need to be burning sugar, not fat. It closes off your fat cells, but your blood sugar plummets. What does that have? That's hypoglycemia. You start to get weak. You start to feel dizzy. Now, this doesn't happen maybe every time you drink a diet soda, but this reaction happens, and it happens to a lot of people. And this is why the diet sodas increase. They say, well, you drink a diet soda, it makes you hungry. Well, of course it does. It increases cravings. You are now have low blood sugar, and we all know what low blood sugar feels like. You get a little weak, you feel a little lightheaded, your cravings come on like crazy because your body needs sugar or it'll die. And you've taken what sugar you had, which may have been perfectly right where it belonged, and said, well, we need to get this sugar out of the bloodstream because we just tasted something sweet. That's what happens, and that's why diet drinks and artificial sweeteners are not the answer to weight loss. They never have been. Yet, I always marvel when I go into any restaurant and I see these huge fat people eating tons of carbohydrate-laden garbage, but they're drinking a Diet Coke. So they feel like, well, I'm doing something healthy here. And all they're doing is exacerbating the problem and making themselves eat even more of that sugar-laden garbage that they're eating. That's how it works. When you think about it in those terms, you'd say, wow, I am never going to do that again, especially as a carbohydrate addict. But all of these food companies and Coca-Cola, have you noticed they advertise Diet Coke a hell of a lot more than they advertise regular Coke? Diet Coke will make you eat more than a regular Coke will. It's crazy. We have been gaslit so hard and so long. But if you really dig down and analyze what's really going on, we're sabotaging ourselves at every turn. So I know that was a long answer to that question, Cliff, and the gardeners are coming up here with some noisy thing, but I'm hoping this microphone will not let it happen. But that, I think, was worth the time doing it. So now what I have to do, since I'm a full half hour behind in the chat, is I have to really go through. I want to try to see if I can find any questions. So whoa, here's one. Stickman's Garage. What is the name of the Happy Mitch Music cigar lighting theme song? I found it when you first told us. Didn't save. It's not in my history. It's called Havana. And it is in the YouTube music library, by the way. And it is copyright free and free to use for YouTubers. Havana. I love it. I could listen to this all day. Makes me happy. Oh, here comes the gardener. Yes, good time to light my cigar. Oh, man. Can you hear that? Perfect. A very, very noisy edger. Wow. A white weed whacker. Must have a broken muffler. Holy cow. And that was the name of the music, so I did find that question. And I love that. For a lawn mowing day, we've got lucky. Most of it was pretty quiet. Now you're talking about the jab and the C word. Your mom says a carnivore cruise would be fun. It would. Okay, Robbie Autry says, will you have breakfast after the morning chat, Mitch? When will you eat after you've had breakfast? Okay, I eat my first meal of the day 11 to 12, usually closer to noon. I don't even consider it breakfast. It is breakfast because I've been fasting since 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I haven't had a bite of food, not a snack. I don't snack. We all know that. I'm not saying you have to live like I do, but I'm telling you it works for me. Oh, my God, these gardeners. See how good my concentration is. You were just by here. What are you coming by here again? Oh, no, now he's going by the house next door. Wow, I got to tell him to buy a new muffler for that thing. Sounds like a chainsaw. Okay, and I wasn't going to let it distract me. Yeah, I eat my first meal about noon. 11:30 to noon usually, and I eat a pretty good meal. I mean, I eat plenty of food. I eat 5 to 6 large eggs. I eat at least a half a pound of bacon. And if I'm not satisfied, I'll make some more. And then my second meal of the day, I'll usually eat meat, like steak, fish, or something like that. And I eat at least a pound, if not a pound and a half. So I eat 2 to 2.5 pounds of food a day over 2 meals, spread 3 to 4 hours apart, and nothing, not a bit of food or any drink other than maybe coffee or water goes in my body. I don't miss any of that stuff. I've lost the complete need to be grazing all day and snacking. That's all sugar driven. You don't find people who are really adapted to carnivore that even think about food at any time other than what turns out to be mealtime. And we also never, ever get famished, starving, feeling like if I don't eat, I'm going to die. It's always like the thought of food just kind of comes trickling into your mind. And I keep saying this, and it's true. It's the only best way I can describe it is somebody says, are you hungry? I have to think twice before I give them an answer, and my answer is usually, well, yeah, I can probably eat. And that's the way we live. That's the way my life is now. Food has become a non-issue for me. Never. I don't ever concentrate on it. And I'm making videos about this stuff, so if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't ever think about food or recipes or anything. I would just be like automatic. I would just throw something on a fire and eat it. That would be the end of it, on to other things. When will you eat? So I answered that question for you. Good, good. I'm glad I found that. Glad I found that question. I mean, we're a little over time, but what the hell? I seem to run over time when I'm here by myself trying to find these questions. Questions. Can this one, somebody asked this, Ketra, I think somebody asked this the other day, can carnivore benefit AFib? Well, I'm not a cardiologist, and I'm not going to tell you yay or nay. I can only tell you what I've heard so many doctors say is that it certainly can't hurt. And yes, it does seem to benefit overall heart health. I would do a search on YouTube for videos from cardiologists, maybe Ovadia or even Cadbury, and just type carnivore AFib, and you'll get a string of videos where they'll maybe do a deep dive into that. But I know that it can't hurt. It can't hurt. Yet your doctor, all doctors will tell you, oh, you can't eat meat. It's going to ruin your heart. Bullshit. Bullshit. But do some research on it. Do some reading. Don't just take my word for it. I don't want people to make life-altering decisions based on just my word. Because my word is based on my experience, and I've never had AFib, so I have no personal experience there, but I can only tell you what I've heard. Richard Williams says, I'm 68. Why do I have more hair on my butt than my head? A very interesting question, Richard, and a mental image I may never get rid of. Hey, Retired Rick, good to see you, man. You did make it in, yes. I'm up to 9:15, and now the blowers are blowing all the grass trimmings off the driveway. And Peter answers the burning question from Richard. He says, because you're old, man, that's why you got more hair on your butt. That's funny. That's funny. And I can almost identify with that, although I don't have a lot of body hair anymore for some reason. I've never was a really hairy guy, but I had a little hair on my chest. But my legs, I lost most of my arm hair and leg hair. I don't know why. Maybe this is why. Mama Bear says, I thought that testosterone can cause hair loss. That may be true. You know, that may be true. I haven't thought about it or looked into it, but my testosterone is through the roof. My testosterone is 729, which for a man my age is almost astounding. And that may be why. Maybe why I'm not growing hair back. I always thought high testosterone would make you grow hair, but who knew? Who knew? I don't know where you heard that, Mama Bear. And who is this? Tanya says, don't want to say anything bad about other channels, but there are some people here that bring the common sense. There are some people here that bring the common sense to them. I don't know what you're meaning by that, so I won't try to guess. Any more questions? Well, I don't charge any extra for overtime, so you guys don't worry about it. We're just going to see if I can't get down to the bottom of the chat. I'm at 9:21. Here's a question. There is a question in Rumble. Oh, thank you, Ellen. In Rumble, question, Mitch, is Wednesday always a meet? Was that the question? That's the only question I see in Rumble here. So I think I already answered that. Which is likely because I'm a little behind here. Question. Never mind, Mitch, you already answered Rumble. There you go. See? And any more questions here? Wow, look at all the chatting you guys are doing. 9:29, 10 minutes. I'm 10 minutes behind here. We still got 132 people who are probably getting tired of me and the noise of the garden implements behind me. And I'm going to look for any more questions and then say goodbye to you guys till tomorrow morning. And don't forget, tomorrow morning is going to be 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I'm still looking. 9:37, catching up here. Aunt B has a question. Aunt B, Mitch, OldGuyCarnivore, have you looked at alluosis? Yes, I have. It supposedly doesn't trigger the effect that other sweeteners do. It may go down. Yeah. There may be some all-natural sweeteners that aren't as bad as the others. But I think the fact, for me, none of them. Zero. Never. Never, ever again. Not in my life. Because I'm not concerned about what they do to me once I get them inside of me. I'm concerned about what they do to me, triggering my sweet taste buds. And I don't care what they are. I don't care. If you're an addict, that sweet taste is going to be bad for you. You're much better off. You'll have a much easier time keeping your addictions asleep if you stay away from sweet tasting things. And allulose is the darling now of all the people who continually want to perpetuate sweet foods to a nation of carbohydrate addicts. That in itself, I think, is a very, very bad idea. But B, if you need something sweet, I guess allulose or stevia would probably be the best way to go. But there are people out there telling you allulose is healthy for you. Ribeyes are healthy for you. Oh, they're saying it acts like GLP-1. Yeah, that's great. That's the new catchphrase. You know, a year ago, nobody knew what the hell GLP-1 meant. In fact, I doubt many of you even know what GLP stands for. Do you? Well, do you? It means glucagon-like peptide. Glucagon is is the opposite of insulin. Eat meat. Meat is also a GLP-1 trigger, a GLP-1 agonist. That's what the word agonist means. It stimulates it. You don't need to take chemicals. You don't need to take artificial shit. Just eat a carnivore diet. Your GLP-1, your glucagon, and your insulin will be perfectly balanced without you having to micromanage it by eating a certain dose of allulose every day, let alone, forbid the thought, injecting Ozempic in your ass. I'm sorry, my friends. None of that stuff has a happy ending. Eat meat. That's what we're intended to do. That's my opinion, but as you can tell, it's very strongly held opinion. Lat says most artificial sweeteners are toxic to dogs. I wouldn't be surprised. Yep. Thank you, Maxine, for validating what I think. And Pop Peter is informing us of what I just said, that Ozempic is a GLP-1 agonist. And I've gotten to the bottom of the chat. I've done it, and it's only 1:45. Hey, hallelujah. Hallelujah. You know what this calls for? This calls for... Yeah, the crowd is happy. Yes, the crowd is happy. Yes. Oh, man. I got all these buttons here. I need to use them once in a while. But you keep chatting. I got to the bottom of the chat. Aunt B says, I can't even smell sweets without my... Yes, you get used to it. You get off of that stuff. DS111, my roommate goes to the refrigerator for her Ozempic more often than even food, but it's not every day. They have got us so snowed. It's not bad enough we got to eat the poisonous food. We got to take these drugs that are going to paralyze our stomachs and ruin our lives. What the hell's wrong with people? They're gullible. They believe anything, and they'll do anything to lose weight so they can be pretty. Hell with their health. It's not even a consideration. Okay, I'm at the bottom of the chat. Mama Bear was the last one in. Ellen and Peter are hanging in there. Bill Cook chimed in, says, hi all. Bill, good to see you, man. I think you missed the party. So, my friends, before you all disappear on me because you're disappearing, let me say thank you all so much for coming in. Thank you. Take a second to say goodbye. I'll puff on my cigar, have another sip of my still steaming hot coffee here. Let the happy music restart. There it is. And I'll leave you all dancing. Leave you dancing till tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I'll be here. Probably more brightly lit as the sun's higher in the sky. I'll let you know what I scored at Sam's Club, and we'll do this again. And until then, my friends, until then, you know the drill. I smile every time I say this. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.